What's going on, man?
Any changes in the last like 10 minutes?
No, but I'm sure there's going to be.
Oh, what do you think?
Well, just that we've got so many questionables still. We still got Embiid questionable, although I'm kind of leaning more that he might play now because he did do the shoot. He was a shoot around, but they still announced him questionable. So that's a little weird, but at least that's before. Then there's going to be John Collins later, which Yurt 7 you already like, but I think he looks like a really good play then, and maybe even Kelly O becomes in the mix. There is just looking at all the Q tags here. Let me find them. Ayton is technically questionable. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but you're looking for value, just throwing it out there. Tari Eason's questionable. I mentioned Collins already. Malik Monk, Emmanuel Quickly, Kyle Lowry, Anthony Edwards. Technically, although I expect him to play. So it's a lot of stuff, man. Like there's a lot that could happen, and then there's starting lineups and teams changing things up, and it just happens these days.
Is DeAndre Hunter out?
DeAndre Hunter is out. It doesn't really do much for me.
Okay.
Bogdanovich, maybe you could consider maybe a Kongwu, but like the center's too loaded, I think.
I only asked because when I was uploading it gave me an alert that somebody I had in was out. So I mean, I could pull him out of stuff, but I don't need to rerun everything with DeAndre Hunter out. I don't think.
No, it didn't change things very much, just to be honest. There was the projections got wonky for a minute, and they started looking like a lot better for Atlanta, and then it's like it sort of went back to what I think is more normal. Nobody at 5x basically.
Do you have any other thoughts on on those three $4,600 centers?
Well, the main thing is now this Muscala thing we should address.
What's that?
Oh, Daniel Gafford was announced out a while ago. Muscala is.
Oh, I see him there. Oh, wow, look at that. Okay.
But I personally totally good with just fading it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right kind of play. I don't think it's necessarily once he's not starting, which I think is a very real possibility. And even if he does start, I don't think that's the answer. I actually think if you wanted to make a play in that game, it's a guy who's going to project terribly. It would be Koulibaly. And that would be a much better play if Embiid was out. Because if Embiid is out, then you play Koulibaly on the one side because they're going to play him a ton of minutes. He gets the non-Gafford minutes, and he always has these huge rebounding games every time Gafford's out. So then obviously you'd be stacking up Philly if Embiid's out.
Yeah, so I got to rerun the stuff with Muscala then. Okay.
And the other big thing is Hartenstein has dropped way on projections, although I still really like him. And that's because Jericho Sims was called up from the G League, and he's projected to start. But we don't know starting for sure yet.
Okay.
So those are the main things that have been happening. And I'm gonna say what's up to everybody in chat. And WW Fresh, don't worry about the $50. I don't have the Cash App or whatever. I could do the Venmo sometime, but instead we'll just make another $50 bet sometime. Good to see you, buddy. Though. Merry Christmas time to you as well. Not quite Christmas yet, I guess. Anyway, so I still like what I was planning on doing earlier today. I think that like either running Cunningham and Halliburton or running like Luka and Bane is sort of my primary, situations. And that's sort of the way that I'm treating it. On FanDuel, it's a little bit different. There's a few pricing things that stood out to me. For some reason, I got to more Butler and Rozier just because they kind of like piecewise fit. But like it was, and I think that they're actually going to have some ownership over there. I think that Hartenstein he's power forward eligible, so you can play him and Yurt 7 together on FanDuel. And he's 4,900, so he's a little bit more expensive. Isaiah Stewart is 5,300 only over there. Cunningham's only 79. Ben Fleet's only 78. Those are the main differences on FanDuel that I noticed.
I'm getting some Seth Curry.
Yeah, I get it. It's just about how many minutes will they let him play. Oh, Brunson officially in. It's how many minutes will they let him play? And Tim Hardaway is going to take that spot most of the time. He's going to eat up most of the time that spot. Exum will sit some minutes, and then obviously Jones. It'll trickle over to him, but I don't know that he's just very shooting reliant. You know what I mean? You need him to score some points. He doesn't rebound. He'll occasionally get some steals, maybe an assist or two, but like I don't mind it, but I really think the slate you need to, like, if you're not, other than the early game with whatever happens with these, the injury situation with Embiid and whatnot, but in the Pacers game and Pacers and Pistons, I think that like delaying is not a bad idea today. And you do miss some good stuff, but like I would like to know if Emmanuel quickly is playing. I do think DiVincenzo would be a very reasonable value, and you're kind of desperate for value on this slate. I also would like to know who OKC is going to start, whether it's going to be Joe or Wallace. I think it'll probably be Wallace. I still like Isaiah Joe, even if he doesn't start. But I think both those plays are reasonable. Those are the value pieces that you're like looking at, if you other than the center values. And to me, my favorite is your 7 with the speculation that John Collins may be out. I like Nick Richards next, and Hartenstein I actually like next, but it's safer if he starts. But keep in mind, Nick Richards may not start. There's a possibility they could end up throwing out PJ Washington. Just throw it out there.
So I mean, we're waiting on a bunch of starters for openers. I mean, like there's nothing. And what do you think the ownership? Again, I agree with the ownerships on the Muscala for sure. I'm getting him at like only 25% projected. He's got to be higher than that, right?
Saberson has him a lot higher, but I'm not sure that he will be. Like, it could be one of those 50% plays if you really. I don't like it. It's the first game of one of the first games of the night. There still is other news you might know about. I'm more comfortable with the Sims play, even though actually I like Muscala better straight up, but Sims is forward eligible. And that game starts 30 minutes later, so at least we find out if he's starting. I don't think they're going to run him out there for like 30 minutes, so I think Hartenstein's still a good play. But if Sim starts, I'd rather play the 20 minutes at power forward. So, and I don't think either of them are great plays. But
so they called Jericho Sims up from the G League to start.
They called him up, but they like how they like to keep guys in their roles. A lot of these NBA, especially the old school coaches. So like keeping Hartenstein off the bench, although. He played well recently when they did play him well. I still think he's going to.
How does that game start?
That game starts at 7:30.
Oh, okay.
But we just don't know about Quickly, and we don't know the starting lineup. And if Quickly's out, also, it just ends up adding more stuff in there. I don't even know what that. I think DiVincenzo or Hart would probably be the answer to the Quickly thing.
I'd say that Grimes can't do anything.
Was that?
Quentin Grimes?
Yeah, he's been really had a terrible season. Yeah. K9 was asking about any Jamal Murray love on FanDuel. I think Jamal Murray's fine on FanDuel. I didn't get to him myself, but I'm totally good with it. I actually like Kobe White. I think he's I like this situation for him. I'm telling you, if there's a game where he's going to make 7 threes, it might be this game. And he's also he's been crushing this value. I think he's better than his projections are showing. And I think Kobe White's going to end up with 40 plus tonight, fantasy points. Maybe even with upside on that, maybe 50.
I'm getting into a little bit of Jamal Murray on DraftKings actually as well.
Yeah, I think it's totally good. It's a great matchup, so you can't ever dislike the matchup. I actually think he's a better play on DraftKings, to be honest, even with the price difference, slight price difference.
Do we still like Wembanyama?
I love Wembanyama and I love Şengün, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to get there. There's 2 games that I feel like are going to blow out tonight, and I'm not saying they're 100% to, but San Antonio has lost they've lost 19 in a row also. There's 3 team sheets that in their last 50 games they've won 1 game. San Antonio is one of them. It's really hard to do that in the NBA, but I just feel like Houston at home, and Houston's been unbelievable at home. I really think Houston and OKC are both going to trash Utah and San Antonio. I hope I do have a little bit of the Şengün Wembanyama, so I hope for those lineups that I'm wrong. I think Wembanyama is the best play. I really think this is the epitome of what we should be playing. If you're not playing more than the field of him every night, I think you're probably making a mistake, and you're going to get some 20s and 30s in there. But he's just going to hit 60s and 55s so easily, so much of the time. It's until he's 10K, it's going to be hard to argue with not playing above the field on him in any matchup, even a bad one like this. Man, I would like to see what happens. I'd like to watch that game. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see Wembanyama play against Şengün straight up. See what happens. McConnell, where is that play coming from? No, look, we're gonna react to a couple of things. Like TJ McConnell is projected. What's he projected at? Like, it's actually projecting higher than I thought. He's projecting at like 4x, and he's projecting with 15 minutes and 18 fantasy points. I know he's a good point for whatever fantasy player, but yeah, I mean, look, McConnell is the kind of thing you're absolutely not supposed to do. I'll just say that. I know he had a good game against the Lakers in a blowout. I'm not. I cannot co-sign a TJ McConnell play. At the same time, if they were playing at home, I would like it better because they could maybe blow out the Pistons. Maybe they still could blow out the Pistons. That's what you'd be playing it for. But I just think that's such a reach on this kind of slate. But then again, we don't really have value, and he's not even a great value. He's 4,500. Yeah, I can't co-sign that at all. I'm guessing that in any of your builds, nowhere did TJ McConnell show up. I'm guessing.
I doubt it.
I'd be shocked.
I mean, I doubt it. I mean, I couldn't. It's possible. But.
Yeah. So yeah, the playing the double center cheap thing. I also think that it's totally viable because you have some great. Embiid is going to smash. It's just a matter of how much he smashes, and it's a matter of how much he plays if this game.
Right.
But Embiid, I mean, I like Embiid better than Jokic. But Jokic, I mean, it's a good pace matchup. But I really think that if you can find a way to play Şengün and Embiid and get your value elsewhere, that's going to be pretty cool because you could get like Şengün could easily put up one of those 50+ games. I think that's pretty likely actually. And I think Embiid, he just put up 80 against these guys the other day, and that's just going to be a very different type of build than people go for. And please hit the like button as MJ is saying in there. What's up, Eric Johnson? Seth Curry we talked about Seth Curry. I think it's thin, but I like it because it's later, so we'll at least have some feel for if any of his other news happens that drags us on to something else. And if you're stuck with it, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. That's the way I would treat the Seth Curry thing. No Isaiah Jackson. I'm not going to be playing these bench guys from Indiana because what's his name got in foul trouble, so the numbers look really good on Isaiah Jackson. Because what's his name got in foul trouble, and Isaiah Jackson, even in those games, still barely got there. And he's still not a good Isaiah Jackson on DraftKings. I think that would be one of the worst plays you could make, to be honest.
Isaiah Jackson?
He's a center only. He's 4,100, and I mean he only played the minutes in the last games because the Turner foul trouble. I am not playing Giannis tonight. I think it's the worst matchup in basketball statistically for Giannis. But doesn't mean Giannis won't smash. He probably will anyway. But there's no reason to play Giannis tonight over the other guys except for that he's going to be low owned. I don't like Giannis as much as I do the other spend ups. I don't think it's a fade though. You're fading a guy who's going to be 2% owned. Nobody's playing Giannis. I don't think.
I don't think anybody's playing any of those studs, right?
I think some people are going to come on to the Luka thing. I just know they don't. Nobody's not. Even his projection. He's now projected he's the 5th best projected player on the slate. No, I'm sorry. Wait, is that right? Is he the 2nd? No, that can't be right. Oh, he's the 2nd rated point guard for value. He and Halliburton are the 2 value plays at point guard at 10-9 and 11-8.
Yeah, so I'm not. I mean, I'm going to wait till they're starters before I even update anything because I mean, what if Muscala doesn't start? I mean, among others.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Washington has a million guys. If the game blows out, it's not like they need to leave Muscala out there. They've got young guys they'll give minutes to, like Omer Ruyi. And as the regular lineup goes, they're going to play Gallinari at the 5. Even though it's against Embiid. That's just what they do. So he's going to get the minutes anyway, whether Muscala starts or not. Or he's going to get, 20 of them, and then somebody else, Koulibaly will get 8 of them at center, and it'll just trickle, in my opinion. I think that Muscala is going to play 20 to 25 minutes maybe. And if he doesn't hit any threes, you're probably looking at a 7 fantasy points. But Embiid doesn't love to leave the basket, so I'm on defense. So maybe that's not a bad thing.
He doesn't do what?
He doesn't love to get away from the basket, and Muscala should have some open looks. We'll talk about NFL. We're doing it later. Sheets, you said 7:30 was good for you?
Yeah, maybe a little later. I have to see.
Okay, whatever works for you. Just let me know and I'll jump on. Then
I'm having dinner after this, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, if not, I can jump on and do something.
I did videos for literally every slate, by the way.
No, I appreciate that. I saw that. That was awesome, man. Thanks. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on tonight. Should be hopefully a fun screenshot night.
It's a very interesting night in DFS because there are different sports with totally different types of slate sizes, and it just kind of tests your brain like a little bit differently each one of them. I like it.
Yeah. I didn't get to the showdowns tonight. Maybe I will play some showdowns actually. It's hard on this. My hot take, I couldn't come up with any better hot take for the NFL slate than I think Tajay Spears is a very interesting play.
Yeah. That is, I mean, it's very like no ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
yeah. I thought I was going to be crushing it last night, Sheets. I had like Dowdle, who was 6% owned. Just even in the flex, he was 6% owned, and he scored that touchdown right away, like or whatever. And then I had all my guys were going nuts, and I was like way up there in the 333, and I had no dupes. And then it just like everything. Dallas just tortures me. I shouldn't be allowed to bet on games Dallas is involved in.
Gallup was the big one.
Oh yeah, and then, of course my favorite showdown play ever guy. I finally got off of him.
Who?
Gallup. He's always
that's Gallup.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally like what Ken Jones is saying. I think that is those are the plays I really like is the Luka, Bain, and I like the Wembanyama, and then I also think that Şengün is a spectacular play. But the problem is you're getting the value at center so much.
Yeah. And like even those, like if Monk's out, I'd like to play Herter. But I mean, I think I have guys I want to play before that. I mean,
you know what's going to happen? Watch this happen. Aaron Wiggins is going to end up like starting for OKC, and he's going to project as like the best value on the slate, and he's going to end up playing like 60 minutes. And
Joe is going to smash.
Yeah, and if he doesn't start, he's going to end up playing like 30 minutes and having like 30 fantasy points. Tommy DeVito. I like the Tommy DeVito idea tonight, by the way, Eric. I am totally on board with that way of building. Middleton out. Okay. Now I like Giannis better than I did.
Middleton
what does that mean to the average man?
What does this mean to the average man?
Okay.
It means again more of this Connaughton baloney, or
there is no Connaughton.
Oh, who's the baloney there for Milwaukee?
Well, he's actually really good. They've been and they stuck with him. He actually was, he did well enough in the what's it called? I think Beauchamp is going to be the one people look at. So that's what I would go to. Yeah, I think I can get behind some of the Beauchamp just with the way the slate is playing out. He's not going to project like much right now, but give it a few minutes and I bet you he's going to look pretty good. Because they already are down Connaughton. It's got to be Beauchamp. Or Andre Jackson they could give a weird start to. That's possible.
Andre Jackson chalk night, huh?
I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be Jackson, even if he. Well, no.
He's a center? No way.
No. He's a point guard, small forward.
Oh.
Yeah, Eric, if you're talking about that Giants game, look, you just got to play roulette and spin the wheel. I guess Jalen Hyatt would be my favorite pairing with DeVito, but you spin the roulette wheel of 3Ks with those wide receivers every time. I don't really. It's almost impossible to know whose game it's going to be, and then it's like DeVito only focuses on one of them, and you don't know who it's going to be. And even that focus is means 7 targets. It's not like that exciting.
No, I mean just play Play Barkley. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, play Barkley and one of the 3Ks. Then you got.
And then when you play the two guys you've heard of. Play Robinson and Hyatt. It's
or Slayton.
Or Slayton. Yeah. Has he done anything recently, Slayton?
Slayton? Yeah, they like to take in turns having manageable games for 3K. He had a good game against Washington. He had 80 yards and a touchdown.
You're probably just supposed to lock in Tyreek Hill in the 2-game slate, right? I mean,
really hard to fade Tyreek Hill.
Jesus Christ.
Especially against a pass funnel defense.
I mean, Jesus.
I don't even know what they're going to do. I have a weird feeling, though, that something feels weird about a Titans team being 13.5-point underdogs. That just seems like a crazy number. But I get it. The Dolphins are a different kind of team. They're not going to beat you by 3. They're going to beat you by 30. You could like Waddle more. I think Tyreek Hill is the best MVP bet. I actually think Tyreek Hill should be the MVP of the NFL this season. I think he's the biggest difference maker of any of these guys this year.
What about the guy Aubrey from the Cowboys?
Yeah, that's true. That guy can.
It's like nothing. None of them are even close. I mean,
I know, it's bizarre. Okay, there's something came in. Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Isaac are in.
No, that's good.
We sort of expected, yeah. The Dodgers got Ohtani, which is nice.
That is indeed. What did they have to give up anything for him or free agency? Or
they had to give up the future rights to their children. It was free agency. Just $700 million.
Oh, that was it?
700 for 10 years.
No, but I mean, they didn't have to give up any players?
No, it was a free agent.
Oh, he's a free agent.
We're not going to be able to sign anybody. The Yankees got Soto. That's true. I love Soto in the Yankees. Yeah, Soto's going to win the MVP in the next 2 years. I bet you anything.
Well, he'll lead the league in walks or something like that.
He will. He's going to have a 480 on base percentage, and he's going to hit 50 home runs in that short little fence because all those fly balls he hits are going to go out. And he's been hitting the worst left-handed hitters park or terrible left-handed hitters park, maybe the worst to now the best. All right, so we're still just waiting. We're just waiting on starting lineups. There's really nothing.
I'm cool. I'm waiting. I'm hanging. I'm not eating till 7. I'm okay. I'm good.
What's that?
I just did an update, but it's going to be silly. Let me just see what it looks like now. Point per dollar. Yeah, Muscala, Richards. Yeah, the other guys, like you said, fell down, but I'm not. Jericho Sims is not that big of a deal. But again, if they announce him starting.
Do you know what I like? I don't understand what's happening with Jared Allen's minutes, but I think Jared Allen is I think that's just the nut play. When everybody switches over to play him the other day, now no one's going to play him. And he's going to put up 45, and he's at a center position that's impossible, but he's 6,700. It's just, there's no way he's getting played. And I think he's incredible.
He'll get 45, and it won't even help.
It might help. These 4,600 guys are not going to put up 50s. It's not like these are smash.
They can put up 35, and if someone and then you play somebody else. I mean,
they haven't done it yet.
That's true.
I'll tell you who's not putting up 35. Max Muscala. Collins is out. So.
So now Omar, huh?
I think you're.
What about Santiva or whatever, that guy?
Wait, who? You gonna say Fontecchio?
Yeah,
but he's on a different team.
Oh, I thought Collins was in Utah.
Oh no, he was you're right, Fontecchio, you're right. But I don't know if we could play. Yeah, but that's you're right. My fault.
I'm just shocked I got the team right.
You nailed it. Yeah, I was
somehow.
I think Kelly Olynyk is going to look like a good play, but the problem is I just don't think they're going to let him run for a crazy amount of minutes coming off the slight injury again. Hasn't played more than 24 in a game this season. He can get there in 24, but I think it's year at 7. I actually think all of these other guys, it really depends on who they start. We don't know who they're starting. It's hard to know.
There it is. John Collins is out.
They'll probably start Agbaji. Just a guess. That's not the most fun play. I love Agbaji as a real life player, but I mean, he's going to focus on defense. Yeah, they'll start Agbaji and they'll probably put him on Shea. That's probably what they do. Man, I nailed the theme for the Lakers win the other night in the thing. I put the one note. I said, just watch. Austin Reeves and Jared Vanderbilt are going to both play way more minutes than anyone thinks because they need somebody to try and guard Halliburton, and that's what happened.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I was out.
They were not going to let D'Angelo Russell spend too much time on Halliburton. It worked. They did a good job.
So who guarded him, you're saying? Reeves?
What's that?
So who's guarding Vanderbilt?
Well, mostly it was Vanderbilt anytime they could get the chance. But then he just hurts them offensively. But Reeves had a great game.
So we're still waiting on. I bet you they wouldn't start Muscala.
I think it's very possible. The only thing is they don't like to start Gallinari.
Excuse me, is this the same Muscala that used to play for Philly, by the way?
Yeah, but it's like you can't. I mean,
just saying.
I thought about it too. I thought, okay, well, at least that means he's played against Embiid in practice. Which probably doesn't.
Tari Eason, huh? Getting some Tari.
I think it's going to look like Kelly O in a minute. I really do.
That game's not for a while, right? The Utah?
Yeah.
Kelly O, is it that good of a play, Kelly O?
No, I don't think so. So you go Richards, you're at 7. Should I just lock it? I mean, you're at 7 that's pretty. You're getting to pretty close territory to lock Button City, I think. And by the way, the Hardaway play is not going to be that owned tonight. I don't think it's a bad play.
I'm getting all this Halliburton now.
Great.
Well, with the Muscala, I mean, like.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you play Muscala, sure. I have not built one Muscala lineup, but I don't plan to. I might end up with like one where I play he and Sims together just because I don't want to play either of them. And this way I could just find a little bit of a weird way around it. Do you know who's a good player we didn't talk about is RJ Barrett? I know it's not like a great play. There just aren't that many great guys you could feel all like warm and cozy about, like in the 5Ks today. Right. But I think he's a reasonable play. I think Isaiah Stewart's a reasonable play. And I think that PJ Washington is a reasonable play, I guess. Those are my 3.
If PJ Washington makes sense.
Yeah. Stewart also without the bigs there. But he hasn't been doing much. But they also
Junior.
Yeah, I like Hawkins is all right. It's a great game environment. He's playing. He's looking at the minutes are there. He could go off, but his going off is like it's not that exciting. It just neither are any of these guys though in this range. I'm playing Chris Murray on FanDuel, by the way, not on DraftKings as much, but he's 5,300 on FanDuel, and there's still a chance that Monk sits, which I actually think gives him a little bit of a boost.
Jericho Sims. Yes, that Utah thing is going to be.
That's what it is, right?
I guess. How about the Fanticcio?
He's just expensive.
What is he? 55,000?
51. But he's projecting a lot better than he was. I think they're still trying to figure it out, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a lot of bodies in Utah. You don't need to play a traditional 4 against OKC. But that's enough usage to go somewhere.
So you know what would be nice to know if like Embiid is playing them.
Yeah, that would be nice.
You seeing anything update on Utah or no?
It looks like it still just looks like Fontecchio is the one I think that it's still updating. Maybe not though. Doesn't have like Fontecchio is better than he was. It didn't really make as big of a dent. A little better for Olenek.
And what about Umar? Is he not? Olenek is not getting as big of a thing. Okay.
Not as much as I thought. Maybe it's not updated yet. It's possible. Yeah, I don't think it's updated yet. Something feels weird about this. They've only gone like a couple points on a couple of these guys. All right, what else is there in the things? Stars and scrubs are balanced. I mean, we're getting a little more value, but I think that the problem with the balance is like there's no balance, you know? There's not like good plays in the 5 and 6K range that much. It's so, yeah, that's what DraftKings is. That's what they're trying to force you into to those builds, but like those aren't like great plays. So maybe the speculative value is more worth it, although I'm not doing the Muscala thing personally. I don't think Richards is as big of a fade as you think he is, MJ. I think he's going to be lower owned than Yurtseven, and he'll be lower owned than Muscala if Muscala starts. No, Muscala is starting.
Muscala is starting. And
Stewart is starting at the 5. Now, no Wiseman start, which people were speculating about. I don't know why.
Let's just
know. Is fine.
Omar is only 4,400 on FanDuel.
I know. He's already in my FanDuel big buy.
Isaiah Jackson is showing as 4K at power forward on FanDuel.
I think that's the thing you're not supposed to do. That's my personal take.
Okay.
I know he's forward eligible. I understand he's 4,000. That's not like an incredible price. He's playing 18 minutes, basically just taking the non-Turner minutes, and Turner got in foul trouble, so he got more of them. Maybe coming off of the other thing, maybe there's a blowout or something and he gets there. He's a great per minute guy. I love him, but I personally didn't get there. I like the Hartenstein idea, even if he doesn't start.
Did they announce that Sims was starting?
No. Oh, it's Taylor Hendricks. That's what it is. Who's projecting now?
Who?
Taylor Hendricks.
What team?
He's in Utah. So, but I think they think that he's going to start, and I think what's going to happen is Agbaji is going to start. But Hendricks did play like 24 minutes the other day. I mean, there are worse things to speculate on. I'll tell you that.
Hendricks?
Yeah. I mean, he's been playing minutes. Like he played 18, 25, and 12 the last 3 games. Now there's no Kessler. Well, Kessler was out for one of those. And no Collins. But they did just also get back, what's his name? I think I might speculate on that one a little bit. I'll think about it at least. I don't think it's that great, but it's just, again, you just need, I want non-center value. I don't want to just do this center thing.
I mean, I'm telling you, I reiterate what I said. Whoever wins this slate should get a $100,000 bonus. Above and beyond what you get, the 100,000 you might get for winning anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one.
So the Isaiah Jackson is not Bobby approved.
I don't like it, but I get what people are doing. I just think that those extra hundreds, do they matter that much to you on FanDuel? I didn't find that. Like, I thought Isaiah Stewart at 5,300 and Hartenstein at 4,900 were totally legitimate power forwards to go with your 7. But so I'm not doing it. But if you want to do it, it certainly can work out. He's definitely a good steals blocks guy, and he always has upside.
So you think he's not going to play any minutes with Turner?
I don't know why he would. I mean, I guess it's possible, but it's not usually what happens.
No, I'm making a rule then. I mean, I just want to make sure don't play both of them on FanDuel.
Oh yeah. Oh, I wouldn't. I would just make the rule not to play Jackson. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But it is the kind of game where you could have a game like, Turner fouled out of the last game in 25 minutes against the Lakers, just pointing that out. And they played 2 minutes together against Milwaukee. And I believe that was because, what's his name? Neesmith, I believe, was in foul trouble. One of them was. So that's the route, I guess, for it to happen. I may get out of here because I'm going to try and keep building some stuff, but I'll leave it running. Is that okay with you?
No, you can close it if you
Embiid
want.
is in. Okay.
Who's in? Embiid is in?
Hardaway just got downgraded to questionable.
Aha.
So I just stack up that the Dallas thing. So I think Exum is the obvious thing. Curry's going to become a better play, and I think Jaden Hardy is going to start looking better too.
Dallas has gotten downgraded to questionable. Okay. Hardaway. All right.
I don't know why everybody's on this. Look, if Giannis is the thing, go ahead and play him, but I would love to hear the argument for it. The Bulls are one of the best defensive teams in the NBA.
Are they?
No, against in the paint. They're literally, they give up the fewest fantasy points in the paint. Fewest like rebounds, scoring, all that stuff, shot blocks. And the Bulls also play at the third slowest place in all of basketball. So I just don't get it. Edwards is out. Okay, now the slate is starting.
Edwards is out.
Oh,
very nice. Edwards is out.
Why do they do this to us?
Fantastic.
Okay, so Cat's expensive, but he's still a pretty good play. Kyle Anderson. These guys are still priced for the last time he was out. But Jaden McDaniels is supposed to play. I don't know what that's going to do for me, actually. I guess Kyle Anderson is the first thing that comes to mind.
So we got so what are the times of these games again? So Miami Charlotte is now. Washington, Philly is now. Indiana, Detroit is now. Cleveland, Orlando. I can't imagine playing anybody from that game. Toronto, Knicks, not till 7:30. That's the Sims thing. Denver, Atlanta, not till 7:30. That's nothing. So 8 o'clock is the Minnesota game.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of guys are going to have to be good plays, no?
No, they're priced. He was just out, and they're priced like he was.
Okay.
That's why we were playing guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Okay.
Literally does absolutely nothing, and then one night just decided to score 55 fantasy points or something crazy, whatever it was. Yeah, 50. I don't even know what got into him that night. But he's 5,900. And Conley 65. Like they priced it as almost as if they expected him to be out. Jaden McDaniels is coming back. Is supposed to be coming back from an injury. I don't expect him to play more than 24-ish minutes probably. So I think Kyle Anderson is my favorite of the guys. I do not think you need to do anything. And Karl Anthony Towns and Kyle Anderson, but I don't think it's an immediately you have to take action on this situation. Cat Zion should be a fun matchup though.
Yeah. Embiid is in. Edwards is. Oh, so they're already updating this. So Naz Reid is getting a little. No, you're right. Look at this. Like no one's really getting such big. Well, they haven't even updated it actually.
Yeah.
Let me see what the Utah one looks like. Utah. It was just Omar, really. It's the Omar's the only one over 5X. Oh, and the Taylor Hendricks, like you said.
Yeah.
Taylor Hendricks.
But I also think that it's speculative that he's starting, and I don't think he's going to start. He might, but.
Who do we like from the Washington-Philadelphia game? You don't like Muscala, so just
Embiid.
Embiid.
Embiid or Maxey would be my interest level. I actually love the Koulibaly play. I just can't quite bring myself to do it. I think it's a really, really sharp play. But a lot of things got to go right for it to work.
Let's see, who is starting for?
We don't know who's starting for what's it called yet. Charlotte. That's the real thing is what happens when Nick Richards isn't starting. If that happens.
Okay, so Muscala is starting.
Oh, Nick Richards is starting. Okay.
Nick Richards is starting and Muscala is starting.
Yeah.
Who's a better play, Koulibaly or Gallinari?
Gallinari just doesn't have the ceiling because he doesn't play enough minutes, but he can get there. He's going to get there more often. But Koulibaly probably has a little bit of a higher ceiling because he can play more minutes, but less active.
Now, when this game blows out, does Eugene Omaruri get in?
It's definitely possible.
He's only 3.
I would actually expect that, yeah. I honestly don't know that anything's changed where I have to change everything as much as I thought I was going to. It's really just, do you want to? I'm going to play that one Muscala and Sims lineup because I promised I would. Because I just don't want to play them anywhere else but this one place, and I'll play them in the single entry. Muscala, Sims, and Wallace.
And the Isaiah Joe thing?
Wembanyama, Şengün. Yeah, Isaiah Joe, we don't know who's starting. I don't think most people think Joe's starting either. I think that Case and Wallace will probably start. Okay, so here's I've got my Halliburton, Cunningham, Şengün, and Wembanyama all in one lineup.
There you go.
I'm surprised that Beauchamp's projection isn't higher. We don't know who's starting for Milwaukee yet, but wait, they still have what's happening with this one? Wait. Am I missing something? Middleton was announced out.
He was?
Well,
you said
we talked about it. Yeah, he's out. For some reason, oh boy.
The THJ, that's going to be the thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm allergic to dead air, so I'm going to probably get out. Oh, Rob is asking if you do that MMA breakdown weekly. He really liked the video.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, Cheats, I'm going to get out of here, man. You want me to leave it on?
All right, later. No, you can.
All right, have a good night.